Hello my friends, Mike here again, and today we are going to check out this VWinds Clarinets by Acoustic Samples, which is 8 clarinets in a bundle. Each of them are what I call real playable virtual instruments as opposed to classical sample libraries. So you don't need to use key switches, you can simply use your mod wheel and faders to change the sounds. As you can see right here, I'm using CC1 for the dynamics and CC11 for vibrato. Actually, I want to change that to CC2. Okay, and you can play it like this. And it's responding in real time to your input on your keyboard with the velocity, dynamic, level, vibrato, staccato, legato, glissando, everything. But before we dive into the interface and explore the actual instrument here, I want to demonstrate a short example that I composed using a felt piano in Keyscape with a string ensemble patch from, let's see, Afflatus strings. And then 4 different clarinets, so a contrabass clarinet, bass clarinet, basset horn, which is somewhere in between, I call it a tenor clarinet or something, and then a standard B-flat clarinet, the most common one. And altogether it sounds like this. Have a listen. Okay, so that was my short example. I probably dialed up the clarinets just a bit, just to make sure you can hear them, but even so, I want to hear them naked, so I will mute the felt piano and strings and just play this clarinet section. And have a listen. And you can also see here are the various dynamics, so CC1 modulation. So I recorded everything separately. I did not use copy-paste. These instruments really, I would not say need, but they respond best when you record each part by hand with your MIDI keyboard and faders. And you can see also here I have the breath controller. This is CC2, so this is the vibrato, and also different curves. And that way you can get a very natural sounding section. Even those tiny click noises from the keys, the breath. I mean, it's not often you will hear an exposed clarinet ensemble like this, but I just wanted to demonstrate how beautiful each of these instruments can play together. Okay, so let's dive into the interface now. So here I have the B-flat clarinet. So what you get in this bundle of clarinets, the VWinds Clarinets bundle, is 8 different clarinets. So B-flat clarinet, you get 2 different variations. So you can play the one here. And then you can load the other one on a separate track or use a multi here, and you can load up here clarinet 2 on the second one, set it on the same MIDI channel, and now you can play a section. Right? Let me just empty that one again. So going back to the main page. So what you have is a very neat, efficient interface. You can see the instrument here. You can see what it is, B-flat clarinet. I think it's a beautiful, clean interface. You have the CC1 here. You can remap it if you want to, but I recommend using CC1 for dynamics. since it's pretty much standard. The CC11 here is the vibrato amount, and I usually set it on CC2 because I like to work that way. Then you can just control your slider. I have a fader down here, the mode wheel. From super quiet, you only hear the breath noise. And that. And it responds also to velocity, so very minimal velocity, and holding them legato creates a kind of legato glissando. There, you heard it. And you can go from staccato note, if you separate them and do an accent. And you can control the vibrato, which is, this is just the strength and it's auto time. You can also use manual, but I prefer to have it on auto time and just control the strength of it here. And if you hear it, when you have auto time and the strength, even if it's up high, you don't usually use vibrato at the instant you play the note. It comes in after a short while, like this. There's a short pause between the start of the note until the vibrato comes in, and that's very natural. You can also control the level of the close mics here with another CC. I don't usually want to do that, but you can if you want to. Then you have 3 different pages on top of this main page. So you can go into the mix page, where you can choose 3 different microphones. So I don't know. Yeah, so this I think responds if you use the virtual space later. Then you have an EQ here, and you have an internal reverb, which is set on 0 now. I usually leave it at that and use an external reverb. But if you go to the next page here, virtual space, this is the coolest thing in my opinion. You can actually choose where you place each instrument. So let's say B-flat clarinet, now it's right here in the middle at the front, and it also responds differently depending on what space you use. So you have, oh no, that's the reverb. Let's see if I go to the virtual space. Yeah, here, room size. So, but I usually leave that on 100%. But you can also use a different microphone pairing type. So here, I don't know what that means, but it's, I mean, this is how it's based in the stereo field. So if I do XY, you can see here the microphone changes, and here the microphones are now. Let's just switch between them. So it's if you listen on headphones, you will hear. Okay, so this is completely wider, and this is even wider. You can see the microphones moves apart. So you can choose that for each instance, and then let's see. We go to the preferences. I mean, this is how technical if you want to dive into the details of how you control the sound. And you even get other aspects you can control, like let's say you want a flutter here, like, and then you can right click and map that to another CC if you want to. You can control the natural variation in air, in pitch, to the keys. You can control, let's see, vibrato speed here. I mean, there's so much here, but I haven't dived in as much because I don't need to control. It's set on a good setting to begin with, but if you want to dive in here, you can do an incredible much. You can even shape the air curve on the velocity dynamic here as well. So let's say if you want to, here at the lowest dynamic, you just hear the air. You can choose a min. This is something I have tried, like start on 11. Now on the lowest dynamic level CC, it's still a note here. So, and then you can use smoothing, and you can even draw something here like that, however you want to. So basically, I don't go into the details. I choose the instrument here, and I like to set it on CC1, CC2, and then shape the virtual space depending on what I need. So if I want the clarinets to be a bit further back, like so, listen to the sound. If you want it left or right, you can set it third chair here, back to the right, to the left, or close up like that. And you can do this, as I said, for each instrument. So let's just go through the things you get. So you get two B-flat clarinets. I mean, it's a main clarinet. Then you get, let's see, one A clarinet. And I think that, so it's A, it goes one note lower. So go to written, or sounding pitch is C sharp or D flat. And even if I play the same notes, it has a, so this is D minor arpeggio. You can, it is actually a different sound. Even here, so if I go between the clarinet B flat 1 and shift to B flat clarinet 2, they have a different tone, it's different character. That's why you can use them to create sections if you want to. So two B flat clarinets, one A clarinet, then an E flat clarinet, which I think is like soprano clarinet. Let's see. Yeah. It stops on sounding pitch here, G3, so perfect fourth above the standard B flat clarinet. Okay, and then we go down. So they have actually, between the bass clarinet and the A clarinet, there's a basset horn here. So I would say that is like a tenor. It's not a bass, it's a tenor clarinet. So that it goes down to sounding F2. So you can play pretty deep parts here. Pretty mellow, deep sound there. So you get one of those, and you get, let's see, the bass clarinet, two bass clarinets. Let's try both, and they go down to an octave below a standard B flat clarinet. So basically, A sharp 1 or B flat, I would say. Very deep. Let's listen to how it sounds. Let's play D minor. Add minor 6th. I love the sound of the bass clarinet. It's such a mellow, deep, rich color that has that lonely, melancholic sound. I will use this a lot in my ambient music and my dark music. So if you think, if you play low dynamics like that, you of course hear the clicky noises. So you can actually, let's see if I can find it. I believe you can reduce the clickiness. Is it like noises here? Let's low dynamic. Yeah. Listen to the clicks. So you can actually reduce the amount of the level of the click keys noises here. Let's see, why is round robin off? Let's try a staccato like G here. Okay, let's try 3 alternate. And let's try the smart. So I'm hearing differences. I'm not sure why the default is round robin off. If the developer sees this, did you like miss this, or is there a reason why the round robin is turned off? If someone knows, please write it in the comments. I would advise you to keep it on smart. I would or the alternate, just to get some variation, especially if you play the same note. Okay, so that was a minor detail. I'm not sure if I found a little thing they missed, or if there is a reason for that. But I would put it on smart. And let's see, then we have, so 2 bass clarinets. Let's try the other one. Let's... Whoa. Completely different sound. I'm not sure if they had anything in mind with like the bass clarinet 1 and 2 is if the first version should be brighter and the second more mellow, or if there was it doesn't say anything, it's just clarinet, bass clarinet and then the number. But anyway, you hear that completely different sound. So basset horn, bass clarinet. Then we go down to the deepest of the deep, the contrabass clarinet, which actually goes down all the way to, let's find out. C. So C, let's say, this is C3, this is C2, this is C1, the lowest note on the double basses. Yeah, that is... I always thought the contrabass did go 1 octave down from the bass. Okay, so it does go down to C1, but not B flat 0 as... I remembered wrong there. So you get that contrabass clarinet, and altogether I believe it is 8 different clarinets. So you A clarinet, E flat clarinet, B flat clarinet, basset horn, bass clarinet, and contrabass clarinet. And I mean, this is basically a bassline instrument. So those are all the clarinets. We have gone through the interface here, which is super neat, but you can also dive into the actual details. Turn on round robin, I mean, change the velocity curve, and so on. A lot of things here. But what I find especially good with these types of instruments, I'm a huge fan of it, is that you can play whatever you want without using key switches. So you can go create, you can record a line with your MIDI keyboard and the faders. Let's do like the B flat clarinet. So you can play like this. I mean, it's amazing. And when you have recorded a section like this, you can shape it to whatever you want. So I actually started doing that already here. So, for example, here you have the contrabass clarinet. I put it on this chair in front. Wait a minute, why did I? Yeah, like that. And I put the bass clarinet to the right, just here in front. So both are in front. Get a bit of a stereo feel that way. And then let's see, the basset horn, I put that over there. But I mean, usually the woodwinds are in front, but I mean, you can shape it. Let's see. Like this. Or over here. Or over here. And of course, this will completely change the overall sound stage. But let's put it there. Let's try this one. Let's put that there instead. Or front to the left. It completely changes the entire stereo feel and stereo stage and depth of the section. But of course, if you prefer, did I show you this already? I don't know. So if you have a line, let's see, let's use this one here. So this, no, not the contrabass, let's use the standard B flat clarinet. And it's pretty fast to load up, as you can see, since these instruments... Oh, that's another advantage. I mean, I don't know... You can see it here. It's like 40 less than 40 megabytes. It's super quick, because it's mainly physical modeling, but also some samples, but very small footprint. So it loads almost instantly if you have it on an SSD drive like I do. But I mean, what was it that I was going to show you? So yeah, you can put it on, let's see, mix page here. So instead of using the virtual space, this one here, you can actually, if you prefer, to reduce that to 0 and use only the close mics. It's like it was recorded in a super dry studio with a close-up microphone like this. And you want to use, of course, the reverb at 0 in this case. Super dry, and that way you can, if you prefer to work this way, add a reverb, your own favorite reverb externally. So if you don't want to use the soundstage inside the instrument, I mean, do it this way. Let's go with, what am I using? A medium, whatever, something. So depending on your preferred workflow, you can do it like that as well, which is a great benefit because most sample libraries do not include a super upfront close and dry sound of the instrument like that. Even if you use only the close mics, you will hear a lot of the room, especially if it's recorded on a huge sound stage or in a hall or whatever. You will not be able to get this super close sound. So I find that another advantage as well. Or you can use, for example, the virtual mics like this. That way you get some of the stage here, but then instead of using extra reverb here, you might want to add an extra shimmer on top from an external reverb plugin. So you have the virtual soundstage plus a reverb. I mean, basically, it is an instrument that you will fall in love with, at least I did, because you can play it. You don't need to load up key switches, you don't need to create expression maps in your DAW to change anything. You just play your MIDI keyboard and shape the sound and performance in each part with the keyboard and the faders, or if you want to use a breath controller, I find that even better to control the dynamics with. But regardless, this is an instrument that is meant to be played. You can, of course, do it by writing in the notes, but it's not the best use case, I would say, is to perform the parts yourself. So that was my review of VWinds Clarinets, and my conclusion is, if you want playable instruments, this is the way of the future. I will leave a link in the description so you can check them out at the Acoustic Samples website, and I will see you in the next video, my friends.